Hello, my name is Brian Cooper, and I am going to be looking at uh, two items that I use in my classroom to check it for accessibility using the Online Accessibility Handbook. So, this first item that I'm showing you is this PowerPoint that I use uh, in in my classroom as I teach, and I'm going to be checking it for accessibility. So, students have access to this PowerPoint after the lesson to go over anything that they need to go over. So let's check the outline view first. And so we're going to go to this top toolbar and go to outline view. And I want to make sure that we have titles and content for all of my slides. And it looks like I do, except for here. Let's see, slide 12. Slide 12, I don't have a title, so that's something I should add to it. And it also has a table, which is something I'll come back to. The next thing I want to look at is reading order. So I go to one of these slides, let's pick one, and I want to make sure that the order of reading is correct. So I click on the slide, I press tab, and just to make sure it is in the correct reading order. Next, I'll look at images, clip art, and shapes, and I can see that I have image right here. And I want to make sure that that alt text has appropriate alt text in the description field. So I'll click on this image, and I'll right click it, and I'll go to Format Picture, and I'll click over here. And you can see I do have a description right here. Then I want to check for my list. And for my list, I want to make sure that anytime I have a list, they're in bullet point or numbered form. And yep, all my slides have that. Next thing is links. Links need to be meaningful descriptively. And I don't have any links in this slide deck, but if I were to, I would make sure it would have a description as opposed to just click here. Next thing I want to look at is tables. I do have one table in this slide, which is kind of a summary table. And I want to make sure that when I look at the table, when I click on it, go to table design, I want to make sure that this header row is clicked right here, and it is. The reason for this is that now the cells in the top row of the table make up the headers for the columns. Next thing is color. So make sure there's a sufficient color contrast. As you can see here, this is kind of bright. I could make this darker color, so I want to get darker green. And I could do that for all my slides. And let's take a look at, if we go to tools, maybe I just want to do an overall check for accessibility. And you can see that there's a number of slides with pictures that are missing alt text, so I want to make sure I fix all of them. And then there is a thing here that says I need to check the reading order. So let's take a look at this slide. And in order to fix this, I can click Arrange, and I can reorder my objects. So I want to make sure this is the first one, this is my second one, which is the content, and this is my third one. All right. So I did that. All right, so let's take a look at another item that I use in my class. This is going to be a Word document. This is a practice review of a topic that I cover in class, dehydration synthesis and hydrolysis practice, and I'm going to refer to the handbook to see how I can make this more accessible. So the first thing I want to look at is my headings, and I want to make sure that my first heading is a heading style 1, which it is. So this is the type of handout that I would use for students to practice what they've learned. And so there are different parts where they fill it in. And next I want to look at images. There are some images on this doc. And I have to make sure that there is some alt text. So I'll format picture. And check for the alt text. Yep, I have a description right here. Next, anything that's in list and I haven't numbered and bulleted if needed. So everything seems to be okay there. There are no links that I need to worry about. No tables. When it comes to color, it's a black on white background, so the contrast is pretty good here. And let me just do an overall accessibility check. And as you can see that some of these pictures are missing alt text, so I can take care of that. And some of these pictures are not in line, so I'll make sure that gets fixed as well. And there are these repeated blank characters, which is just the spacing of how the page was set up. So that is something that I'll take a look at as well. So that is my analysis on the accessibility of items that I use in my classroom. Thank you for watching.